What's good? It's your boy DJ Pryce Miyagi. I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported the podcast so far. We doing numbers and we want to continue to go up, but we need your support. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're in tune every time we drop a new podcast episode. Listen, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. Thank you again for your support. Now let's get into another Can We Talk episode. Salute. What's good, my peoples? What's good? It's your boy, DJ Pryce Miyagi, and I'm back with another one. I told y'all I'm keeping them coming. We're gonna keep them coming. You know how we doing it every week, man. You know where to tune in at. I'm just let the beat breathe just a little bit, though. For some reason, I'm feeling real good today. I hope you're feeling good, too. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's good, my peoples? What's good? It's your boy, DJ Pryce Miyagi, and we back for another one of the Can We Talk podcast. Today, we got a special guest in the building, a very special guest, one of our community leaders in the building, a legend in the town. I mean, I ain't got to say much. You see the face, you know what it is. I mean, if you're from the city, you must know. If not, you've been living under the rock. What's good, my guy? We got Jeelani in the building. What you going by now, man?
Well, I go by either Captain OGun for the Black Rider Liberation Party,
Okay.
New Generation Black Panther Party for self-defense. So, we can go, but we can still go with Jeelani, though.
Okay, that's what I know.
Let's go with
That's
the
what
old
I know.
school.
I know Jeelani.
Let's interview Jeelani today.
Yeah, okay,
I'll give you some OGun sprinkled in there, though.
I need some of that, though. I need some of that.
Absolutely.
All right, so just kind of want to know, so are you from Portland? Did your parents migrate to Portland? I mean, just kind of want to know your background here from here.
Yeah. I'm from Portland, born and raised. I'm definitely a native of Portland, Oregon. My mother is from Thibodaux, Louisiana. My father's from Louisiana. I want to say from Shreveport. My mother had about 16 siblings, and I think about 7 of those siblings migrated up here all at the same time. So around Vanport time and so forth. My mom was working at Fred Meyer's when it was on Union, when it was Union.
Right.
I remember being about 7, maybe 8 years old, something like that. Like, this is how hard our parents used to work. Like I sat on a crate while she was ringing people up, and it wasn't even digitized. It was like the old typewriter type, you know what I mean? The more nasty green and beige, you know what I mean? And it come out look like a toy today, or you know what I mean? So that's how hard she worked. She worked at that Fred Meyer's. It was a cashier union. So I was definitely born and raised to see all the transition from there.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so man, so let's talk about your schooling, man. Did you go elementary school, middle school, high school?
Yeah, I started off going to Woodlawn. I lived in the Woodlawn area.
Okay, me too. I grew up Woodlawn Park. Yeah, that's right off Deacon and Oneonta Street. Okay.
Man, absolutely, man. 9th and Portland Boulevard,
Okay,
Portland
talk
Boulevard
about
Court.
it.
You know what I mean? Everybody know Legendary Street now,
Right.
And that was it was a dope experience, you know what I mean? Woodlawn is definitely one of those parks to where you've been to Woodlawn, you know that play structure was different. Ain't no park like Woodlawn Park, like from the basketball ring. I remember climbing up on them little rocks, the rock wall, and the basketball ring. And remember they had the swimming pool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey, listen, I remember they first got the swimming pool. It was like 4 feet, about 4 feet max, maybe 3-4 feet. And man, I went to lie because I used to go do the summer program there and have my little me and my sister, my twin sisters. We have our lunch there, or whatever. We get in the pool, do the arts and crafts or whatnot. But we used to hop that fence at night to get in that pool. We be in that pool. Oh yeah, after hours. We was kids.
I didn't know nobody even did that.
Oh yeah, we did that. We hopped the fence. We was in the pool at night.
That's crazy. I wish I would have thought of that.
They don't even got the pool there no more. That's crazy.
Yeah. I remember when I got there too, and they put the fence around it and everything. I was like, who did this?
Right.
Somebody be in somebody's backyard that they just dug a hole and it's like, we got y'all got a pool. That's the only elementary school I know that had a pool or something like that, right?
Facts. Outside of Peninsula, they had a pool, but besides that, Woodlawn was it, man.
Yeah. So I went from there, then I migrated over to Boise Elliott because my mother was started to drive school buses and she didn't want me to go to school on my own, walk on my own because she had to leave early in the morning.
Dope.
So I started going to Boise Elliott area with my cousins, with the Rileys and stuff like that. So with the Rileys and the Browns, and then from there went to Tubman because I was already acclimated to that area and so forth. So.
So you related to the Rileys and the Browns? Yeah,
those are both families. Yeah.
You related to some big families in the town.
Yeah,
ain't no
absolutely.
cap on that.
Yeah, no cap on that. Not at all, man. RP Tuna,
RP Tuna for sure.
Yeah,
yes,
what I mean? Joe Sean, shout out to all the Rileys, Breeze, and everybody,
Yeah.
But that's my mom. My mom, the Rileys, my mom is the sister to the Rileys' grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So their grandmother and my mom is sisters, like blood sisters, and that's one of the siblings that moved down.
Okay.
So shout out to my auntie and my mom. May they both rest in peace as well.
Oh yeah.
But I went from Boise Elliott since I was already acclimated there. We went down to Tubman. She's already might as well just keep going to middle school there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And went to middle school there. Then from there, that's when the separation kind of came with my family. They kind of went to Grant. They went to Grant, and then I went to Jeff because I was a dancer.
Man,
I had to go to performing arts.
I got that, but what I'm saying, everybody who's been on this show has went to Jeff. Only person that been on this show so far that went to Grant was Love. That's it. I'm a general, so you know what I'm saying? I get all these demos on my show, man. They're going to be, okay, well, it's all love.
Already. You know what I mean? So, I went to Jeff for performing arts and everything, but I was just so wrapped up in the streets and everything, man. I couldn't focus. I got shot when I was 16 3 times in the chest, and from there, it was school just really wasn't really my thing, at least the organized school, so it just really wasn't for me. And then I ended up getting shot, and then I went to POIC after that, and finished off there, and you know what I mean, and that's pretty much the school history for me.
That's dope. That's dope, man. So now I kind of want to get into, like, every time I get somebody on the show, like I say, it's really a Portland-based show, but we have people from all over on the show. But I remember, seeing you back in the day when I was younger. I'm maybe a year or two younger than you, but I remember back in the day. I mean, you was dancing, you used to kill that. Everybody knew you. Jeelani showed to the party, it's over, man.
Right.
Hide your chick, man, because he about to break her down on the floor. It was going down.
Either me or Lalu.
Yeah, ain't lying. That's right.
Either me or Lalu. Shout out to Lalu.
What's up, Cuddy? Yeah, for sure. Hey, Lalu was active too. That's a fact. Y'all used to tear the parties up, man. I remember y'all come in, it was over, man. And I know you was doing the dancing. I mean, you been with the Jabberwockies. I remember seeing you doing that. I mean, you was doing your thing, man. But at some point, you did make a transition. So I kind of want to talk about that transition and where you at with being with the Black Panther Party at the Portland section there.
Yeah, so I spent a majority of my time dancing. Like I said, I went from realizing I could dance, and shout out to Andre Baker, my big bro, you know what I mean, and rest in love, Daryl English. That was definitely a staple in the dance community and in Portland, because for us, we still grew up in a neighborhood, you know what I mean? And a lot of people looked at dance in a certain kind of way, but if you really think about it, I know killers who dance.
Facts.
I mean, I don't know what they think sea walking is, like them Crips that be out there, like they ain't really ready with the business, you know what I mean? So, and then you see certain Bloods and Crips, like they can pop locking and stuff like that. So dancing always been part of our culture. I think somewhere we just got too macho. But I said it to say that, I never really had to deal with that, you know what I mean? Because I was always a person that was always kind of wrapped up in some kind of street stuff any damn way. So it was just like a guy who will get on your top, but also can break dance and do stuff with the best of them. So
you weren't known for no sucker shit at all. I can tell you that. You was with all the activities.
All the activities. I bust a move on the floor and run out that door and get on your ass. You know what I mean?
Right. Big facts. No cap.
Right. Absolutely. So so I went from dancing and doing all that stuff. Man, made my name. We went to 106 and Park with Aaron O'Brien. Shout out to ALB.
I remember that. Yeah.
Did some big stuff for the town. Did some stuff with Chris Brown and some other stuff. You know what I mean? But for me, I always been a teacher, and that was one thing that got me into dance, as well as that. One, it was an expression, it was an art. Two, it was a way for me to give back, to my people. And I got a lot of students that I had at Jeff, tell me today, like, man, people be wanting to say whatever about you, but man, you kept me out of trouble. Right. You know what I mean? And when they say that, I'm like, damn, there's a story to be leveraged in that. And there's a greater power for that because at 16, when I got shot 3 times, I could have died. I did die actually. And a bullet actually came out an inch from my spine. Like the doctor might tell you that to scare you at 16 years old, but I literally got a whole exit wound, real close to my spine. And then by the grace of the Most High, like I didn't have no complications with walking or anything like that, just from swelling or anything. Didn't hit no bone, but I could have been in a bad situation just from getting that close. But, when somebody tell you that, you kept them out of trouble, then it's like, I can do that again. I just got to recreate the formula. Right. So what I did is took the same concepts of what I had with dancing and being able to give back and teach and give that same euphoric feeling of feeling good when you get some information. Because that's all dance is really just information translated into movement. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So when I thought about that, I was like, wait, we got so much going on. And honestly, what got me into the Panther movement was Rest in Love, Yavere Herring. I realized, I was at the beach and I realized like what's going on with our youth. It's going to take a little bit more than you dancing, Jeelani. Right. Like, you can tap into that other side of you that wasn't on no sucker shit. And you can still walk into a room full of killers and drug dealers and still know that they all know you dance and they still treat you and give you respect, because I always approach everything with respect. Right. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm really big on. So when I can make that transition was like, damn, man, something got to be done with these young boys that's going on, because there was rules of the game to where, you just didn't cross that line. And that was a line that was crossed. And I'm like, damn, something got to be done. And I'm like, who the hell gonna do it? I don't know who's gonna do it. So when I reached out to a couple different chapters, just kind of see which one, because there's different chapters. Like a lot of people don't know, the Panther Party ain't never went nowhere. It just got rebirthed. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You got shout out to New Black Panther Party. You got the Panther Cubs, which is led by Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Oh, yeah, son. I seen something about that. Yeah. So he's got the Panther Cubs. We got Black Rider Liberation Party, or BRLP, which is I'm a part of, led by General Taco. So shout out salute to, Wolverine Shakur, General Taco, salute. Our 5-star general. Then we got like the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. It's a lot of factions that's going on. You know what I mean? And then shout out to everybody that's going to Tulsa, Oklahoma, because the anniversary is coming up, and everybody doing a march out there on Tulsa, Oklahoma as well. But so I made that transition to say like, man, let me find an organization that's going to better fit my perspective and my needs. And me just coming from the streets, like I was gravitated towards that paramilitary type of movement. Panther Cubs is not a paramilitary. New Black Panther Party is a paramilitary. And what I mean by that is, you remember the Black Panther Party, their uniform was black pants, a black leather jacket, and actually a blue collared shirt. Okay. That was the actual uniform for the elder Black Panther Party that, shout out to our legendary Kent Ford as well, that was a part of when he started the Panther Party here in Portland, Oregon, when he met Huey P. Newton. And we still got Kent Ford around. Okay, and I'm still in contact with him. I actually just talked to him last night. So make that transition from that with Yavere Herring, a woman, she was pregnant. She got brutally slain by 4 or 5 young men, and they just shot through a window, didn't care who they hit, just because they trying to get to one guy. Listen, man, you got to get to that guy, you know what I mean? And you got to leave all the rest of that stuff alone. If you get to him because that's just what the street code is, then that's just what it is, because that's the rules of the game that you play, you know what I mean? Right. But you just don't go looking, I can't get to him as soon as you see some blinds moving. You don't even know if that was the right apartment, And I think the story is they did go to the wrong apartment first. So it's just like, come on, like what is going on here, And I think that's because, it's like the gangs in LA when the Panthers got disbanded. The bastards of the Panther Party, which shout out to Cleabone, made that, and that's just the Cubs of the Black Panther Party who was left in the whirlwind with no guidance and nothing to do. Or like when Tookie left, when the leadership leaves, then it left for factions of, say, for instance, 60s. They might break off and splinter off into different sections of 60s, and sometimes different sections of the 60s don't get along with different sections of the 60s. True. You know what I'm saying? We can look at Nip, for example. That was a 60 who did that. Right. 60s got to handle that. But it's like the politics of it is like that particular section of 60s got to handle him. It can't be the neighborhood or whatever. It got to be something else. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like what's going on? I kind of got out of touch with what's going on in the streets because I start focusing on dance and stuff. Whether it be a jack of all trades or a master or nothing, I choose to master dance. And I had to sacrifice leaving the streets. But now I have to get back in tune with the streets and see what was going on, and I had to make that transition, and it wasn't really hard. You know what I mean? I always been a person that somebody would want to follow, or you take, like I said, take that leadership ability of what you did in dance. They following you in dancing.
Right.
Apply it here. Just make sure you ain't playing with it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't play with it. So when I made that transition, I knew I had to leave dance alone.
So now when you first made that transition, did you get like a lot of backlash? Because I'm not going to lie. I remember when you first made that transition, everybody like, what is Jeelani doing? You know what I'm saying? I used to hear that, like, what is he doing? So like when that happened, did you get that from like your peers, or did you hear the outside noise at first? Because I mean, you got to think about it. To us, Black Panther Party is gone. Now, so we got this guy popping out that we know for dancing. He's doing his 1-2. We see with the Jabberwockies, celebrities, and all of a sudden now you putting up the fist. So, like for you, how was that experience, and like what type of noise even you might not letting the noise in, but what were you hearing and what were you experiencing at that time, in that moment?
Nah, you know, for me, a wise man can have foresight and see everything.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because a wise man knows that he knows nothing, right? So for me, a clear mind can either see the perception of things or he can control the perception of things, right? So, or a lower vibration will only allow you to see, and a higher vibration will allow you to actually control what you see. So what it is that I did experience something, but I already knew what was going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even my peers, you know what I mean? Shout out to Big, to Bell, Alan Bell and stuff like that. Be like, oh shit, what Jeelani on now? He Usher Velli, that's what they call me in the hood, right? Usher Velli the Shocker. This nigga was Usher
Velli the Shocker.
He was Tupac, and he was Silk the Shocker holding one damn ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what people can honestly say, no matter what I chose to do in life, I took it and I did it to the fullest of its extent, and I didn't play with it. You know what I mean?
I said that to somebody. I said, whatever this man do, he's always been fully committed, no matter what. And you can't do nothing but respect that.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what.
Exactly.
Real talk.
Exactly. So I did get it, because everybody was like, ah, shit, here he go again. He about to do something different. You know what I mean? But when they seen like, damn, this nigga ain't playing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember being in the hood with him, and we did our 1-2 with some things and got into some trouble, but damn, now he out here. You the hottest nigga in the hood. You out here with all the guns running around and doing all kind of shit. Like, bro, what you doing? We didn't do that in the hood. Because I mean, in the hood, you know, you're not supposed to be seen with guns, so you don't want to be on camera. Now you just full-fledged AR-15 guy. Like, what are you doing? You know,
big weapons.
Big weapons, you know?
Big weapons.
So yeah, it wasn't hard for me, but I did kind of expect it. So it was easy, but I also knew that I wasn't playing with it, so you gonna respect it.
You know, no choice. That's facts.
You ain't got no choice. So yeah, I did expect it. But as far as like anybody, you know, running up on me saying something or making too many jokes or anything, nah, they didn't make jokes, because they start seeing people were following. Then they start seeing that, damn, you really are out in the community doing work. 1, 2, you at the places that we need you at.
That's a fact.
It'd be one thing if I just put it on and and it's like a costume, I'm just putting it on and taking pictures and shit like that. But you actually see us out there at visuals, places that you not.
Right.
Because you don't want to be, and you got stuff to lose, because you a father, you're a mother or whatever else. And I'm just like, that's not my children. But you have to respect when I can take on and have others follow you to take on other children who have been slain either by police or by quote unquote black on black violence and stuff, and you really out in the community doing it. So, you know, I didn't get too much flack because I made sure everything I was doing was solid.
Yeah, I definitely could feel that. And I think even from my own self watching it from the outside looking in, I was like, okay, let's see what he do. And it's been consistent, and you have been, you know, standing on whatever you standing on, and you standing on it tough. You know, and like I said, you can't do nothing but respect it. Like I said, you do a lot of positive things. Your messages, even from, you know, on social media, is always positive. Sometimes they got that strong tone, but that strong tone is needed sometimes to get the message through. Yeah. You know, like people know you for real, and you're standing on what you're standing on. So I salute you for that. So let me ask you, so, you know, making that decision and now transitioning, like, how did you really get things going? Like, and how'd you even build a team? Because you got a team, man. I see you. Y'all be out there deep sometime. So, like, how did that come about?
Damn, it's crazy, because a sister that's actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I don't know this sister for nothing. Like I said, man, it's just a brand new Facebook. Facebook shut me down, my old page, but she just got on my page, and I was wondering, like, she said, I got a question for you, because she seen the EA video. Okay. Right? So I'm like, I had a question for you. I'm like, oh my God, somebody done seen my video, and I said white people is cool, because some of my people be like, what the hell is you thinking? No, they're not. You know, no, they're not. But I said that in the video to make a reference to something, just kind of make it more palatable because we are born in the Northwest. I'm gonna get to your question. We are born in the Northwest, and we would be very ignorant to say that we wasn't raised in a white or multicultural society. Like we had white friends, you know what I mean? But as we grew up, now I want to tell you, as long as you have white friends, just make sure you educate them on the proper history. And as long as they understand the proper history and respect it, then, you know, I would say that they're cool. We do have abolitionists that was like not against, it was against slavery. So
that's a fact.
You did have some cool white people back then.
You had to have those white allies to do everything. You had to have some white allies somewhere. So
right, and some of them rock harder than some of the people.
That's a
people.
Fact.
Like
that's
I know some white people that ain't snapping a finger. I will get them there with bulletproof vests and guns right now.
Right.
I'd call on the community and be like, shit, you have to go do that. So you know, like you have to be real with it, right? But what was the question?
No, I got you. No, I was saying like, so when you got started, like, how'd you get your team together?
Team together.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So when you put out information, one thing I will always say that once you can't run from information. Once you know, you cannot unknow.
Right.
A lot of our people are still caught up in emotionalism, and when you caught up in emotionalism, I know how to harness that and take hold of that and then feed you what you need to be fed so that you can be led in the right direction. It's like fishing, you know what I mean? Like that saying, I can give you a fish or I can teach you how to fish. But I also got to let you know why and the importance in this. Because one, I'm going to hit you in your pain point. You're hungry right now. Now I'm going to tell you that you got to fish. And if you do fish, this is why you are fishing. You can now sustain your family. One saying is, if you can't feed the people, you can't free the people.
That's a fact.
So if I teach you to fish now, I'm going to tell you that line.
Right.
Because now you want your people to be free. But because you have this skill now, you have this intellectual property of how to fish, you can now go tell somebody else how to fish.
That's
so I didn't teach you how to fish so you can stop there. I taught you so you can teach somebody else, right? So when I tell my comrades this and I teach them, they take the teachings that I get from other people and the teachings that I have myself, and they gravitate towards that. Some people stay, some people go. Some people resonate with people, some it don't. And I also study guerrilla warfare, and this is one thing that really helped me cultivate the cadre that's in Portland, Oregon. Certain people sign up for different things. Some people want to sign up because they just want the uniform. Some people sign up because of ego. Some people sign up because of the emotionalism. Some people going to sign up just because somebody got killed today, and then tomorrow it's going to be like, kind of wore off. Right. You know what I mean? Some people really see the foresight and want better for their community and better for themselves and their children and their family. So they stick around. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really hard. So we started off with like 5 people, and shout out to all of them. I believe that their heart was very pure in it and in everything. And then, you know, everything has a season as well. And today ain't like the 60s, so it's not like people are struggling all in one section, and this is just where we at in our small community. We're all poor and broke. Right now, people do have jobs that caught up in wage slavery. You know what I mean? That's a form of slavery when you can't control your own time. You know what I mean? Because time equals freedom.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So when you now have to ask somebody to go to the bathroom, somebody's telling you when you can take your breaks, you're no longer in control of your time.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So now I do understand that. So some people just kind of get caught up in that, and some people get caught up into relationships and stuff, and they kind of fall off. You know what I mean? But to build a team within a revolutionary value, you got to get with the like-minded people. I used to put out calls to like, yeah, we recruiting. We're going to have meetings, open meetings, all that extra stuff. I don't do that no more because I feel like if Pryce is aligned, he already doing the work. Right. I just going to tell you like, look, bro, we got a team over here that's just doing the same damn thing. It's probably work hand in hand when you get a street team or you doing promoting. Right. Like you can put out calls for promoters, but do you want 50 weak people, or do you want people who's going to already be doing the work? Listen, we can work together now, and we can make a stronger movement in the town with promoting.
That's a fact.
You just delegate jobs. You do what you good at. I do what I good at.
Play to everybody's strength.
And play to everybody's strength. If I'm the money maker, you don't need to be worried about making money. You go out here and you're going to handle the campaign with the street team, and you're the good networker. You go ahead and do your job. You know what I mean?
And as you brought that up to use, promoting, like that's like with the Aries party that we do. it's three of us. You know, it's me, Franchise, and Kendall. All of us have a strength that make that thing work. And it being the biggest party in this city, probably in a very long, probably since Geechee was doing this thing.
Nah, for real though, real shit.
So
real shit.
It's like, but we played each other's strengths, and that's why it worked. You know, you got Kendall, he hard to the pavement with the muscle. You know, so you got Franchise. You know, he can finesse a whole bunch of stuff that I can't do or Kendall can't do. You know what I'm saying? I got my strength and what I do. I ain't gonna tell y'all my secret, but you know what I'm saying. But it works out that way, and that way we get a bigger result and more paper.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what it's about. For me
talk.
To get a bigger result, and for us, you know, to get more paper as well, because the revolution do have to be funded.
It has to be
then
funded.
We have to make sure that everybody's a key player and everybody has a role. And it's actually inside of we have manuals and have literature as well, and it tells you how to build an actual team. You know what I mean? You lead live streamers to people that's going to be making the programs, people's going to be running the programs, and it tells you step by step what's needed to actually run these programs. So we might have somebody who's a community member, then your job is, you already doing that. Just do community engagement.
Right.
You the security, you just the muscle. Then we need you to be the muscle. And if you're going to elevate yourself past that, then you're now going to be head of security and you're going to train everybody. You know, we have a radios and comms person. Sometimes you got to learn a skill. Listen, you already do this. We got somebody that work in housing.
Right.
We got somebody that work, we got Brett who work with the youth. You know what I'm saying? Be POIC and at Rosewood. So it's like we got all these factions and everybody's already doing this work. If this was to disband and go away today, they would still already be doing the work.
Right.
And then there's some people who's not and they just want to join. And like I said, that's all good. You know what I mean? We want you to build, we want to build everybody up into potential leaders because we believe everybody is a potential leader. I should train you 10 steps ahead of me so that when I go away, you know how to do my job.
Smart, right? I like that. All right, so I kind of want to move the conversation a little forward here. So let's kind of talk about, you know, kind of what we're dealing with now. So we watched the world change, right? We watched this pandemic hit. Of course, we didn't know what was going to happen. You know, when it happened, we didn't know what direction the world was going to go in. But in the midst of dealing with that, we had the George Floyd situation happen where we seen this man murdered on camera with a knee on his neck. And I think that put a big spark in a lot of cities, even our own, where we was on the news consistently.
This is actually the hub.
Portland was the hub, really. Hub, I mean, like, it was crazy how
they still talking about Portland.
Still talking about Portland. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I did a podcast with Love and talking about him being down there on the front line, and that's probably one of my biggest streamed interviews today because in all over the world, they was tapping in with that, listening. And at the time, Portland was the hot topic. But when that happened, like I say, it changed the world. And everybody was, you know, in outrage, whether it was fake or it was real, we seen the outrage. Now, at this time in our city, I watched you step up. You know what I'm saying? And I watched you. Now, did you go downtown every night like most folks, or did you were just down there frequently? But either way, I just want to get your take on it, and how did that affect you, and what made you step up and even get involved with the movement that we did have out here in the city?
Okay. George Floyd did affect me, you know what I mean? But just for me, be honest, like, I was actually just watching a David Banner live before I came here. And for me, it was a number of different things because I already picked up the movement. I already been like, you know, repression breeds resistance, and me dealing with a federal raid and a Fed case and all kind of extra stuff, and for felon in possession of firearms that I wasn't a felon, and they end up having to drop it. But me dealing with that, you know, repression because of what I was doing and the message that I was putting out, I was already kind of like, you know, it was whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to die for street shit or anything else, then I'm damn sure ready to die for my people. And that's something that I can be proud about with standing on for my children. Right. You know what I mean? I give you this little thing that I always like to tell people, man, is that, you know, you on your tombstone, you have your born date and you have your death date. Facts. Right? But nobody ever really talks about that line in the middle. Right. Everything you did in between. Everything you did in between, right? So I want everybody to think, like, what does that line mean for y'all? What does that line mean for you? Right. You know what I mean? And that's just really your legacy. So when you want to talk about your legacy, you want to leave something that your children can be proud about, and they can stand on and be like, my dad was honorable and so forth. So for me, I can honestly say that I was honestly a little disappointed. You know what I mean? And my heart been broken. Unfortunately, like Banner said, damn, today, we'll get into that a little later, but today you can't save everybody, and that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't gonna go, and it's not your job. You actually you're trying to be Jesus Christ, wondering why you on the cross all the time by yourself now.
Right.
Why you keep getting your ass on that cross? Why you keep feeling like this? Because you trying to save everybody, and it's not your job to save everybody. And that's my ego, because my ego was so big, like, yeah. And that's why you said when you kind of go harsh sometime on the thing, and it's always out of love. It's never absolutely. Like, I want y'all to feel like shit, or feel like, you know, I know more than y'all, I'm better than y'all, or anything. It's just that frustration, what I learned now in business, is just a pain point. I'm trying to get you to stop doing the bullshit that you doing, so that you can start thinking clearly and start doing right, and not just do right, but take action. Right. Don't just say where the Panthers at and Jeelani at, where everybody at, when the KKK is at Irvington Park. Well, where the fuck is you at?
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I want to get into that. So I remember when the Proud Boys was marching and they were moving and grooving, everybody was calling, where is the Panthers at? Jeelani, where you at? And I remember you going on your live, and you was like, and to be honest with you, like, what the fuck you mean where I'm at? Where y'all at?
I ain't got no problem with saying that.
Right. And it was crazy. And I remember seeing that. So I want to go into that too. So like, how do you feel like when those things happen, they, like, it was almost like they expect you to be on the front line to combat that. But I mean, we also got people out here, gang members. They could be on the front line out there with the Proud Boys. We got, you know, the tough guys that want to be on the internet, or these so-called self-proclaimed leaders that we got on Facebook. Where are they at? Right. Why do you feel they always expect you to be the one to do it?
Because they hold me to a standard that they don't hold themselves to.
Talk about it.
They hold me to a standard that they don't hold themselves to. And that's the thing with a lot of people. And that's why I say I feel like my heart is broke. Because I'm giving everybody an opportunity. You can join this. We're not doing nothing radical. We're not robbing banks and doing anything like that. Right. You know what I mean? If anything, we're building. Everybody inside my cadre now has an LLC. Maybe even two. Because the most thing, like I said, if you can't feed the people, you can't free the people. The best thing I can do right now today is give these young boys some jobs. Give them something to look forward to, because they can't see outside of their bullshit. They don't see no value. They don't see themselves creating anything that's worth an asset. Then they don't look at themselves as an asset. Right. You are the asset. Right. You are Can We Talk. It's not the cameras. This would be nothing without your likeness. True. You know what I'm saying? True. You are marketing, right? So how that made me feel is that, you know, I lost a little bit of respect for the community and the atmosphere behind that, because in all sense, the reality is, like, if somebody, I seen that video that young boy somewhere, I forgot where it was at, he was getting pressed by this white guy in a neighborhood, like, where you at? He was just walking. Then all of a sudden, thousands of the community members showed up, like, we ain't gonna jump you, come outside. You came outside for him. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we need to get back to. But instead of being proactive, they would rather call on somebody so they can have something to talk about on the internet. So that tells me that you just want to see me either go to jail, you want to see me die, and you want to see me be in some bullshit so you can have something to talk about when you can be out here and be not even really front line, but just stand on something. Because at the end of the day, you're going to want it when it's yours. You're going to want it. You're going to want it. You know what I mean? So going back to George Floyd, that is how I felt when I seen that, because I see people like, damn, think about how many people was out there actually recording and just watching it. I don't care if 1,000 people walk and they just bump that dude just to get him off of him. Right. I'll take that charge. You can't shoot me for just walking up. And if you did, you're going to have to explain to the world why you literally just murdered 15 people with their hands up just walking. I'll take the assault charge. Just walk and fall into him. Just enough to get him off the thing. He got to come right back and put his knee down and do that. You know what I'm saying? And if George Floyd can get up or he stay down, he can run away, he got to get him right back into that hole. Chances are he probably not going to be able to get that particular knee and that move going. Right. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, damn, the people recording look just like the same people who's calling me. I am George Floyd. Just on Facebook. You just y'all try to put your knee on my neck, right? On social media, just so you can actually see a literal knee on my neck. Right. You know what I'm saying? Regardless.
Because kind of what seemed like is like, once you kind of made the statement, like, you know, why do we have to be there? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, it almost seemed like you got backlash as if it's like, okay, well, you talk all this talk about you being a Panther and this, that, and the third, but now they hear why you not on the front line in front of them. Now, mind you, I did see you guys go on MLK. Y'all was in front of Geneva's, posted up at the time when the shit was going down. Just y'all. It wasn't that many either. Like, it wasn't just a handful of y'all, and y'all was posted. What made you go do that?
What made me go do that? Because honestly, that well, let me backtrack a little bit too.
Okay.
When I said that as well, it's also because I know I can stand on my own square and we do things that people don't know about.
Right.
So I don't have to automatically just jump out the window when the community say jump out the window.
Right.
Even though that's the responsibility that I took, I don't let nobody what's called toy soldier us.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I don't let nobody toy soldier us, because really what it is that you would want to see us do something. Again, hold us to a standard you don't hold yourselves to. And you want to do it just so you can have something to talk about. And I know, and I can pick apart when somebody wants that, you know? So again, now what made me do that is because that was more or less of a demonstration than it was an armed resistance to what was going on down in Delta Park with the Proud Boys, right? Because it's one thing that in our community that we are taught to be so afraid of firearms and so forth. Once I got my rights back, you know what I mean, I got everything squared away, then I took it upon myself to say the best way I can beat the feds now is make sure that everything is legal and I actually exercise my rights, because now you forced me to know them more than what I knew, because I had to get myself out of this situation. Right. So now I know about all the open carry, how you can open carry. If you have a license, which you can do, you still can open carry if you if you don't have a license. If you have a license, it just means you can have it loaded. You know what I mean? So when I understood the law and legalities behind things, then I said, you know what, we're going to do an armed demonstration. We're going to be on private property. We're going to be at one of the staples in our community, just like they do theirs. They be on top of their buildings, protecting their buildings. When you see riots going on and protests and stuff, they do the same thing. When I went to Vancouver, Washington, they was on top of buildings, on car garages, white boys with big ass guns. I was like, damn, all right. Well, when they come to town, it wasn't really necessarily resistance for them. If they came down here, they wasn't going to fuck with Geneva's though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I really wanted to do. So that was the only thing. And I know I had some people show up who can't even be around guns there and was like, I ain't never seen no shit like this.
Yeah, I didn't either. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, this is different.
This is different. Right behind the bank.
Right.
A catty corner from the police station.
Right.
And they was riding up and down with the tanks and everything. They were just looking at us like, well, if they down there with guns and we fuck with them, this is going to be a very bad situation.
Right.
And they really might be in the shootout. So just let's live. They are exercising their rights. And at this particular moment, we know guns is here because we know the Proud Boys is here. There's things is going on and so forth. So it's not like today, right now.
Right.
People out there with guns, like, okay, we might want to go check and see what the hell's going on and just kind of question him and be like, what's going on? So what made me do that was I just wanted to do an armed demonstration just to show our people that we can stand behind guns. And it's not the guns that's killing people. It's a whole nother situation that's doing it. We'll get into that in a different little bit.
Oh, definitely we'll get into that. So another question for you. So I had this conversation too with Joe Bean Keller as well. Salute to Joe Bean.
What's up, Unc?
Hey, make sure you go check out that podcast episode. But I talked to him about the leadership in Portland. Like, I don't really feel that we have a strong leadership. It's not unified. If there is some leadership here, I see a lot of self-proclaimed leaders on my social media, but nobody that really takes action. And even when this stuff went down, I seen a lot of people who claim to be leaders that didn't do nothing. You know, they kind of just sat on the couch. And me, I never claimed to be a leader, so I didn't expect Pryce to be down there doing anything.
Right. They'd be like, what the? They probably looked that first time I picked it up, like, like, what the hell this nigga doing?
Right. But the ones that claim to be leaders in the communities, whether it's, pastors, whether it's just local figures, however, but you claim to be a leader, but there was nobody on the front line for us when everything was going down. The only person I seen out there was you. And you don't even self-proclaim yourself to be a leader.
Nah, I don't want that.
So that goes to my question. So how do you feel about the state of our leadership in Portland?
Man, the state of our leadership in Portland, man, is crabs in a bucket. And you know what I mean? That's just what it is, bro. I call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to wear the titles, but you know, it's a saying. Right. It's a saying that goes like this. A lot of people don't want to free the slaves. They just want a chance to hold a whip. A lot of people don't want to free the slaves. They just want a chance to hold whip. You know what I mean? So a lot of leaders today would rather just hold the whip so they can tell the other field Negroes what to do and how to feel, and then turn around and get something out of it, whether it's a political thing. You don't see pastors come out until like it's the police is there, then it's a press conference, and I don't need none of that shit. I remember Portland had like an award going on for like people in the community and wars and stuff, and I couldn't never accept nothing like that. I think Sam had that going on. Shout out to my bro Sam.
Salute to Sam. Yeah,
you know what I mean? People had a Portland award. I'm like, I thought about it. I was like, damn. I think I probably was nominated some shit, but I was like, man, I couldn't accept that because I don't do that for that.
Right.
And when I get out into the community, it's like, even with my cadre, it's like, it's no big me, no little you. It's I am because we are because I am. I can't do this without them. They can't do this without me. We got to look at our community the same way. Like, you can't do what you're doing without me. I can't do what I'm doing without you. And if you look at your brother and your sister like that, we'd be in a better off, space. But, the status of our leadership is really no strong leadership. And at the end of the day, that's because people are complacent. I never was a person that want to be complacent in this. I want to stand tall on it and push this motherfucker all the way to the limit. And even if I know, like, see, I know the feds was coming.
Right.
I knew this is going to be a situation for me that, and others, that this is what it comes with. When you sign up for gang banging, this is what it comes with. Nobody be like, you're going to be ducking bullets. You might be facing jail because we be doing illegal activity.
Facts.
They be like, I'm all in. So why can't you be like, I'm all in and I'm doing something for my people, and you ain't doing nothing illegal. The only reason they going to mess with you is because you speaking truth to power. Right. You're using power of tongue to educate your people. You know what I mean? So I had to also talk and speak. I had to put out visualizations and imagery. Like the Panther Party, there's a saying that my cadre or my comrades say, we documented so generations that comes before us will know exactly why we did it.
Right.
Same thing with the Black Panther Party, right? We seen pictures, we seen documentaries, we seen posts. I mean, I ain't got no posters. They got posters of UP Newton and everything else. You would think that's kind of vanity or anything.
Right.
But that's just propaganda. So the generations like us would know exactly why they did it. You would not know who UP Newton was. He wasn't sitting in that wicker chair. He didn't do that just because he wanted to be cute.
Right.
I ain't taking these pictures when I'm out. When I'm out, like Pac said, you see me in my place of business. You out, you see me with a bullhorn. Right. You see me at a funeral. You see me somewhere speaking to something, or you see me out here really literally banging on these pigs. You know what I mean? So I'm banging on opposition. But the leadership just they would rather hear themselves talk. And it's called, that's mental masturbation. You know what mental masturbation is?
I'll explain.
Mental masturbation. Mental masturbation. We're gods. Right? First and foremost, we're gods. And God's main thing to do is to teach. That's it. You know what I mean? If we want to say Hebrew Israelites were the teachers. Moors was the teachers. We taught civilizations. We created systems. So we are natural teachers, right? So when you now have people who are hoarding so much information, they really just like to hear themselves talk because it gets them off.
Right.
It arouses them to like, I know what I know, so I'm gonna speak what I speak, and da-da-da-da-da. And then when it come down to put your boots on the ground, you ain't nowhere to be found.
And that's what I noticed about it. It was a lot of, like, I didn't know. I was like, where are all these leaders that we supposed to have in the town that should be down here on the front line, sitting down, doing the negotiations? I mean, you had anybody just negotiating for us. And that was crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, me. And they go, so, well, Pryce, how can we? Well, that's not the role that I choose to play. But the ones that speak on that role and put themselves out there as a role, I would think that they would be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I didn't see that, it was just blowing my mind, like, wow. And then I'm watching them on social media. The thumbs is heavy. The thumbs is loud.
Heavy, loud, real loud.
But they said ain't no boots laced up, and you ain't down there putting on the line for the people that you say you trying to lead.
Right. And that's mental masturbation. When you see cameras come out, now they running out. Right. Oh, so you want to be seen. You want to be mentally stimulated by the community and somebody telling you thanks for coming out.
Right.
Thanks for speaking.
Right.
That I was so resonated with me what you were talking about.
Right.
And then when it come down to I done seen a couple pastors tell me like, yeah, we're gonna come stand with you with the KKK and the Good in the Hood and da-da-da. Started at the beginning of the parade. When we got down to get on post, I don't know where them damn people went. And
that's funny because I'm part of the Good in the Hood. I DJ. I'm the chairman of the entertainment team. I'm with there every year, and I remember that year when we got those death threats. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all was right there playing no games. Making sure that the perimeter was secured. Y'all was up the block, down the block, and the real talk. And that's why, and that's one of the reasons why I want you here, because I want to highlight that to let them know that anytime we've had a movement, whether you like whether you like what they're doing or not, whether you believe in what they're talking about or not, when it's time for a call of action, I can say you guys are there. You're there with no hesitation. So those that feel like if this one time they didn't do nothing, and stop it, because they there most of the time.
There you go.
For sure.
That part.
For sure.
That part.
Yeah. So, and speaking of, man, I kind of want to get on this leadership thing. We'll move on. But I feel like, at one point we did have leadership, but now those guys are older. And now we have this younger crowd that's coming in, and I can tell they want to be leaders and they want to do it. But I think that we have a gap from the older ones with the knowledge who done been out there at one point to the young ones that's coming up that's trying to get out there. And I don't know how to bridge that gap. And I had this conversation with Joe Bean as well, but I feel like somehow, some way, we got to get the older generation of leaders with these newer ones that's coming up and bridge that gap so they can work together. Because with wisdom, of course, that they can give to them can help them see what's coming, but also prepare and be able to be effective and complete objectives when it comes to being leaders to our people. And how do you feel about that?
I think that's good. You know what I mean? I think that's good. We just got to make sure that everybody pretty much is on the same page. And just like what I'm learning with business and so forth like that, you got to be able to relinquish some ownership into some things. You know what I mean? Like, if this young man wants to step up and be something, because I know at some point I'm going to have to sit my ass down.
Right.
It's just my job now to get the next person prepared to take my spot. And I have to be ready to let go of that spot.
Right.
A lot of our elders don't want to let go of that spot.
They don't want to pass the torch.
And that's what the problem is. They don't want to pass that torch. I had one Panther leader. I'm not sure where he's from, but this is a funny story. When I first started the chapter, we had our 50th anniversary of the Elder Panther Party that was the Portland chapter here. And I think Kent Ford was up there. Percy Hampton was up there. And I can't remember the other guy's name. But somebody got up there and asked, like, what do you think about the new generation that's coming up that's here today and something, right? And he said, boy, the elderism, something else. He said something about recreating the wheel. Like, we just fake and we not doing what we need to do. There's no need for it, something like that. Right. And to that extent. And it's funny because he don't know we had a prior conversation with Ken Ford and Percy Hampton. Right. So we had a prior conversation. I'm handing them pamphlets and we like, they see the fire in us. Like they see them in us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They see we wasn't playing. Like, damn, y'all, cause you know, we got pamphlets, we boost to the ground, we door to door, we handing out stuff, we out here in the community, you know what I mean? And they seen the babies. They seen their babies like, we've been waiting on y'all. And so when he said that, they didn't know he was gonna say that. So they sat back on stage, was like, we ain't with him.
Right.
We ain't with him. Right. It was funny. They were just caught off guard. Everybody's caught off guard. So I'm like, this is after I spoke. So I had to go back up there and speak and like tell them, no, like, no diss to the elder and stuff, but we not going to get caught up in elderism. I'm not going to disrespect my elder and everything, but I'm going to let y'all know, last I checked, the boot is still on our neck. Last I checked, we still got police brutality. Last I checked, we still need programs for our people. Last time that I checked, it was still a need for the Black Panther Party. So just because they created the blueprint don't mean that we're not going to pick it up. And if we're picking it up, we're not recreating the wheel because the wheel never got off the damn car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we ain't recreating no wheel. Like I said, the Panther Party never disbanded. It got disbanded as far as like the elders and stuff. But what happened to the babies?
Right.
That's like saying, oh, y'all want to make a 60s Crip or something blood in a whole nother state. You can't do that. No, they get sanctioned to do it. And that's what happened with us. We got sanctioned from Elder Panthers. Kathleen Cleaver, Erica Huggins, Elaine Brown, the Aaron Dixon, the Dixon brothers up in Seattle. People don't know Seattle was the first chapter outside of LA, outside of Oakland.
Okay. All right. So moving forward, man, I got another question I want to ask you. I know, Black Panther Party of self-defense, that's kind of what we know it as. And that's how we always hear them speak about police. I kind of want to talk about the climate of our city, though, when it comes to police. I mean, we know what's going around the world. We see it all the time. But how do you feel about the police in our city currently? Like, do you feel the attitude is the same as what you see going across the world, or do you feel it's different here from other places?
Nah, I feel the climate is the same as everywhere that's going on. One being that we don't have nobody that's joining this police force that's from this town. Back when somebody, I got a quick little story. Somebody told me the situation, and rest in peace to Pat, and shout out to all the 60s out there. Shout out to all the gangs out there, the street tribes. Salute. You know what I mean? Salute to everybody's tribe. But they had an officer that said he was sad behind it because that cop that was from here who did that didn't know Pat. You know what I mean? So he said if it would have been me, I could have just said, Patrick, put it down. Right. And he would have listened to me.
Right.
So when you got people who's not from your town and they see certain things go down, they're only going to do what they're trained and programmed to do. And unfortunately, that is just what the police fraternity is a systematic institution of training people how to neutralize people, because before that they were slave catchers. They were trained to catch slaves. That's just what they did. I'm
glad you said that, because I heard this somewhere, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I hadn't did research to get the facts, but they say that's kind of how the police force started. Back then, before it was a police force, like I said, they was out to go catch slaves. That was their job, you know what I'm saying? And that is what formed the police force.
That is exactly what formed the police force. I think it's Abraham Lincoln that said there's no law that any white man have to uphold when it comes to a black man. So if you take that same word that comes from a president, put it into perspective of what was legal and what was not legal, and then us being property, which means we can be stole and not given back. That's the property. That's theft. Right. So we are a commodity, and we were a commodity. We were a commodity, and we were property to them. So when their property gets away, it's somebody's job to return their property back to them. So when the slaves tried to get away, they just formed a task force, an organization to go retrieve their property. So that's why you had slave catchers. It wasn't the masters going around going to go get them. They formed something that's called, we can make monetary value. Pay us a little bit of money, we'll go get your property back for you. You know what I mean? And that's exactly, they had a badge and everything. And that's exactly what the police force came from. It's originally from I want to say the White Knights. And that's what the White Knights, white or black knights, I kind of don't quote me on that, but y'all can look it up, white or black knights. But that's what they were called. And that's what they call, that's what the police force is formed after. The overseer or officer is the overseer. You oversee the slaves.
And I heard that too. That's crazy, man. All right, so I'll bring something up to you. We talked about this off camera, and I kind of want my viewers to hear this too, because it was news to me when you said it. I didn't understand what you were saying, and you broke it down. I didn't even know something like that, but you brought up a saying. I'm gonna let you say it because I want you to explain it as well. But go ahead and tell my people what we're talking about here.
Okay, so speaking about the police fraternity or fraternal order of police. You guys can look that up. It's a real thing. It's not just the thin blue line or the brothers in blue and that shield that they protect. They actually have a fraternity that is specifically made in like a secret society just for them. So I can only imagine, like I said, what the hell they talk about in there. But back in the day, like when I said slave catchers and everything else, these people had and today they have absolutely no accountability for what they do. So there was a saying, I don't know if everybody in Portland can remember that. I know Joe Bean definitely remember it. There was a saying called "choke 'em, don't smoke 'em." And I didn't know that this was a slogan. I thought it was a wrestling move. You know what I'm saying? I was
like, what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, it's like put him in the sleeper hold. He's going, I was like, what the hell is a wrestling move? You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was a slang because it was a black man. I can't remember his name. I have to look the information up. But it was a black man that was actually not George Floyd is not the only one. You know what I mean? So I think if we pushing that movement, we should keep the same movement pushing because he was not the only one. He's just the one that in a particular time and moment, when camera phones is out, that we get to identify with and see our brother. But there was a black man that was actually in Portland, Oregon that was choked out by the police, and they made a slogan called "choke him, don't smoke him." And they actually went to the extent of getting T-shirts made with this slogan on it.
That's
so imagine the
crazy.
slap in the face that our people was dealing with in Portland when a man was choked out. I want to say off a Grand and MLK, and he was choked out, and the slogan was, and they laughing about it, it's like, man, I ain't even had to use my gun. I just choked this one out.
That's crazy.
And this is in Portland, Oregon. Choke 'em, don't smoke, and y'all can look that up.
That's crazy, man. When you said that to me, man, I couldn't believe. You see, I was like, "What you know?" I was like, "No, I didn't know nothing about that."
I
never heard it.
You never heard it, right?
I never heard of it.
I asked you, was like, "What you think it was?" I thought it was a wrestling move. I was like,
right.
Not until an elder broke that down to me and was like, "Man, that slogan came from somebody choking the guy out, and they did an illegal move, and he died because of that. He died from that choke move."
So I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna say something about this before I ask you this question. So, when things happen to us, especially across the country, you see a lot of outrage. Some people say it's fake outrage, real outrage. I don't know, not to say what it is, but you see the outrage. But then you get this other conversation when we dealing with our own crime. I don't even like saying this, but for people to understand, black on black crime. You see gang members, in our city right now is crazy. I mean, people is getting killed left and right. People who are in the streets, people who are on the sidewalk, meaning not in the streets. Everybody's catching it, right? And you don't see much outrage for that. What you see is rest in peace, I'ma miss you. But you don't see the outrage and call of action to stop. I want to get your take on that. And how do you think that we can somewhat fix that problem? And how can we get more people involved with outrage to try to fix this, or bring a call of action to fix it, and really put some boots to the ground on that particular issue in our own communities, like we do when we see things happen with the police to our people?
Right. And then again, I say my heart is broke with my community. You know what I mean? My heart being fucking broke. You know what I mean? But that is something that we dealing with, and I don't think nobody really ready to deal with it how probably it should be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? The state of what's going on today, and like my big bro Royal said, it's like we popping a pimple and we still wondering why the pus keep coming back. Are we putting concealer on these bumps and not going to go see a dermatologist, or you're just not washing your face? So what I mean by that is that we have a root issue here, and that we're not addressing and not dealing with. I made a post today about this young man who just got caught with some fentanyl or something like that, and he got caught with purchasing 16 firearms that's related to 17 shootings. Let me tell you something. Guns is in a scarce right now. You can go on websites, can't find guns. And if you do find a gun, you ain't gonna find no bullets for it. So where are you getting the bullets from? So I had somebody tell me in the post, like, why we worried about the bullets and where the bullets coming from when these black men is killing each other? I said, well, wait a minute. If I slapped you, are you worried about me slapping you, or are you worried about why I slapped you? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't keep putting Band-Aids on the wounds if I'm not talking about why are you not tying your shoe? Are you clumsy? Or is something wrong with you? Why you keep hurting yourself? I didn't know why you keep falling, son. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that is like the problem that we're not dealing with. And a lot of this problem that we're not dealing with and addressing, I think, is like it's an economic thing. You know what I mean? We're dealing with economic structure. These young men has trauma, and they know they not coming from generational wealth, and they still passing down the same poverty that my grandmother had. And if I have the buying power of a 5-year-old, which means I have no credit, my credit ain't good, I'm not even taught to value credit and value assets, and I can see past what is in front of me, then I have no value in life. And if I don't have no value in life, I can't value somebody that looks like me. As a matter of fact, since you look like me and I don't like myself, nigga, I don't like you. And it's easy, again, to call a nigga. But every gang member or somebody believe in God. But if you look at the God in yourself and call yourself God and recognize the God in you, you recognize the God in the brother that's sitting next to you. Right. And I can't kill God. Right. Because I respect myself enough to say that I'm God. So I got to respect the next God too. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But a nigga is just a mind state, because white people are niggas. Facts. White people, I know a biker gang right now. Biker gang, I think a dude beat his wife up, called the police on himself. You know what that gang did? Kicked his ass right the fuck on out. Probably got DP'd and beat up. Boy, you snitched on yourself. How you get beat up? That's some nigga shit. Right. You see what I'm saying? So what the state of town, like, you know, these young men is hurting. They're in pain. 1, 2, they're on drugs. 3, they see no value in shit. And 4, they don't have any programs and nothing to do anything. And 5, nobody's embracing them. They just, half of them just want to be seen. Walk past them and they just acknowledge them.
Right.
Even if it means like they're going to give you some, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just embrace that young man. Because at the end of the day, he probably want to be tough around his homeboys, but he walked off thinking like, damn, this dude said hi to me. You know what I mean? He wanted to embrace me. So I try to embrace. I don't give a damn. You got to fight me, shoot me, whatever.
Right.
I embrace my young men by all means. Like I said, you know, I take on all my son's friends and I treat them like, you know, my own children, to the point to where whatever my children is getting, they're going to get that as well. So this young man who passed away, shout out to Bobby again. We love you, brother. Love you, son. And, you know, I treated him like my own and he was receptive to it. Right. Even though his family was from a certain tribe, you know, and he want to be from there, that's fine, but I'm going to treat you like this. So I took him out with me shooting. I took him out with me, showed him how to break down his first AR-15 and so forth. And from there, I seen that young man want to learn more because I invested in him. Who is investing in these young men? And I want to say something to this too, to people, because I said this, and I know you're a party promoter, and I ain't knocking nobody for wanting to party, because I think people should party. But we also have to take a look back at the time before COVID, when everybody was trying to party, who was left at home?
That's true.
Them babies was left at home.
Right.
Them babies was left at home. So it's up to y'all to take accountability about where you're going to put your time at. I'm not telling you don't enjoy your life, because you work hard, you should play hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you also should be doing things to where you are playing hard, to where you are including your children. Don't take trips and leave them.
Right.
Don't be going out every weekend, because I know everybody was looking for the next white party, next boat party, next this party. And them young men was looking for somebody to love them and be there. Now, and they also know I'm not getting money at home. There's no generational wealth here. You're not creating a system or a business for me to even work at and think and even know that that's a possibility. So if you're not creating an LLC, you're not creating something for them to be on tangible grounds and stand and know that I got buying power now, and I also have a business and some other stuff, and you just leaving them to the wolves.
Facts. And it sounds like, you know, even what you're saying, I'm just going to piggyback off it, like we lack that village. We have a lot of that. And so, you know, I you know, it just kills me to see, you know, the direction the city has went in and the things that we're dealing with in this moment. You know, I don't know how to fix it. I wish I did. But you know, we got a lot of these brothers killing each other, and you know, the gangs, I don't know, how can we bridge that gap with them, with the OGs that kind of got a chance to live, to see and wise to understand that this is not the way, and put that on the youngsters. But it seems like the youngsters don't want to listen to them. You know, and then too, like you said, when we was coming up, when I seen gangs move, they hit their target. They didn't get the innocent.
Not at all.
Not at all. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was on Facebook the other day, and I seen my guy Spank, salute to Spank. I see him post something. It was so deep to me. He was like, you know, in LA, you know, we killing people we don't know. Here in Portland, y'all killing people you grew up with.
Whoo, shit. Shout out to Spank. What's up, bro? Shit. You sound like me, nigga.
I said, I looked at that, I read, I said, man, ain't that deep.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. You know what I mean? They're killing the people that they know. Like, these people grew up with each other and shit. And
It's a small community here.
It's too small. It's
everybody
way too
knows
small.
everybody here.
You done killed your homeboy sister. You done killed your sister's brother, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And honestly, like, you know, like I said, my heart is broke. I wish I knew how to fix it. And I know the way that I know how to fix it. Unfortunately, people ain't going to be ready with it. And that's just, honestly, I just got to be frank. It's like, you got to be a necessary evil.
Right.
You got to be a necessary evil. If you are ready to get, like, you got to learn from America. We learn from our oppressors. You know what I mean? You got to learn. And what they do when they train you
right
to a point to where what happens when they don't no longer need you? They get rid of you. Now you are a liability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You are now a liability, and nobody's ready to do that because everybody caught up in their own stuff, and then nobody's willing to go impress these little dudes.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We got a sad situation here, man. I mean, we've had so many deaths here recently, man. It's sad. Every time I get on social media, I'm seeing R.I.P. to this young man. These is young boys, man. They didn't even got a chance to live. Yeah. And see, I lost my brother to gun violence too, and you know, he had just turned 21, and I sit back and think, like, he didn't even get a chance to learn from his mistakes, to get wise, to have kids. You know, because once it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
It ain't no coming back.
Punch that clock. It ain't no coming back.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these guys are young before they can even make an effect on the world, whether it's positive or negative. We don't know which way it could have went because they don't get the chance to.
Right.
You know, and it's sad to see, man. I really pray for my city right now, and the cities across the world, because the violence have skyrocketed everywhere.
Yeah, I think Atlanta, just 16 people just got shot, and some people died, something like that.
Yeah, I seen that. That's crazy, man.
Yep.
And like I say, I don't have an answer for it, but you know, I do wish that we can come to a meeting of the minds with a lot of elders and the young ones and try to figure something out.
Try to figure something out. I mean, it's a few things in the works that I know about that I'm going to be a part of as well. You know what I mean? Especially me, my brother Mo. Shout out to Mo.
He's out here working too.
Yeah. So we working hard to try to give some stuff back. But you know, like I said, it's really start with the youth, because them babies and asked to be here. Facts. I can't really focus on the adults no more. So that's my pivot today, is that I'm focused on business, not more or less trying to be out in the community. Like, you can't call me out no more. I done did that. I'm putting my work. I done got shot for this and all kind of shit. You know what I mean? So I ain't worried about what the community think about seeing where the Panthers. I ain't worried about that no more. You know what I mean? I'm worried about giving this young boy a job now. Right. Because now I created a system to where now I can employ somebody, and I'm going to focus on these babies, because these babies didn't ask to be here.
That's a fact.
Your ass is grown, and you shot off in her, and she let you shoot off, and that's y'all made a decision. That baby didn't make that decision.
That's a fact.
So while everybody partying and leaving, like I said, when I touch back on that, is that before COVID, now everybody forced to sit the fuck down. Everybody want to see. Now everybody's forced to see the problems that we have.
That's a fact.
But now we want to try to deal with it now that it's already here. Right. But when we was open and free, we didn't think we had a problem. So it's like, let me go live my best life on a weekend. Boy, I've been dealing with this. I've been worked all week. I'm about to go out. Right. You don't think that baby know when you tired? That baby know when you ain't trying to be bothered? That baby know when you ready to go out and go turn up? And that baby is going to equate that to, I have the freedom to go do this, or I'm struggling with this, and the only way I know how to release this is go get back with some young cats that's struggling just like me. And now we're going to mix this toxicity with that toxicity, and now we're just going to have a big ass toxic gang. And now we're dealing with today, and that's just all it is. It's just really a lot of toxicity that our young men don't know how to deal with their emotional intelligence.
Right.
It makes an emotional intelligence mixed with semen retention. And that's a whole different thing, but emotional intelligence mixed with semen retention, these young boys will be all right. You're not taught emotional intelligence, right? And I'll give you this. At a young age, we're taught not to play with baby dolls. Right. Dolls. We got to play with G.I. Joes and so forth. Right. But if you think about that at a simplicity level of it, we're not taught to nurture and take care of children, because we're not taught to carry babies and play with baby dolls and shit. Not to say like you want to play with Barbies and pink dresses and stuff. I'm talking about actual like baby dolls. Don't play with that. Boys can't do that. Right. We're taught at an early age to have toxic masculinity. If we taught what masculine looks like, is to be tough, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I mean? And we're not taught to nurture. So we're not natural nurturers, because we wasn't even taught that. We taught the opposite of that. So these young boys don't know how to deal with their own emotions. Then they grow up into adults who don't know how to deal with their emotions. Now, what I mean by semen retention is that if you can have discipline to withhold your sperm for a week or two, up to a month, you probably would have the endorphins inside your brain to now focus on something else. Take that energy and focus on a business. When I've practiced semen retention, and it's no different than being in prison, right? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have no women in there, right? So it can be done. You know what I mean? So when you are out here and you want to practice semen retention, you take that and you don't focus on sex, you focus on business. You know how much your business will grow? You teach that young man that. That's
fact. You know, so funny you say that. I got a cousin, man. Shout out to my cousin, Big City. He said that too. He just be like, man. He be like, man, sometimes I gotta, you know, I gotta hold back. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, but I got to, because I got too much I gotta focus on. I need that. Now, a nigga like me, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, I know I feel it with 2 weeks to a month, Lord Jesus, I'll go crazy.
Right.
But you say when you go to jail, it happens. Like I went to jail county time. Don't y'all come for me. I did a little county time. That was it. Right. Nah, I did a little county time. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Same shit.
I ain't got no pen or nothing.
Absolutely.
But at that moment, it wasn't no women there, and I was there for a little minute. But
you had time to think.
You had time to think. I ain't gonna lie. It was my pencil was the most sharpest in that moment. And when I got out, the stuff, it made me first it made me reevaluate myself. It made me look at a lot of things in myself. And then I was able to think and game plan, and it was sharp. But only lasted for that moment. Because as soon as I got out, I was right back to
back to that ass.
I was right back to the activities.
Right.
But I feel you, man. And you know, and I think that, you know, that could be a possible way that things can work for some people, man. But we got to try something.
Right.
We
I'll give you like
something.
this with the semen retention as well too. Like that's just you practicing discipline, no different than you fasting or you changing your diet. You know what I mean? Because you can withhold for a few days, for a few weeks, whatever you feel you comfortable with, and then when you get it, you now that doesn't go away.
Right.
Your brain is now wired to know that it can do this. It can focus. You know what I mean? So now another few whatever will be easier. But for me, I'm the same way. I love it.
Right.
It actually motivates me. You know what I mean? Give me some in the morning, give me some in the afternoon or something else. And listen, I'm about to go run this bag the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go run this bag the hell up. I needed like a nice amount. I'm a Scorpio, so I need a nice amount of it. Right?
He's a Scorpio.
You know what I mean? Right.
I'm an Aries. Okay, let's talk about it.
Talk about it. You see? But you know, when you actually can take a step back, and women actually can appreciate that, because now if you do have a lady, you're no longer just having a physical thing with her. You guys are now forced to build and build upon something that's mentally. Now you're dealing with sapiosexuals. Now you're attracted to the mind of this person.
Right.
You're educating her. If she can't teach you and you can't teach her, then what the hell are y'all doing? You know what I mean?
About it.
We gotta be building. So honestly, the easiest way for y'all to build is when you are at your lowest and you want to do it, but now it's kind of like, babe, let's talk about this situation that's going on. Or babe, let's open up an LLC. I ask my married people too, what's the difference between getting married and just creating an LLC? You can't pass down a marriage.
Right.
None of that shit, right?
Facts.
But if something happened between you, you should want that person that you had a child with to be good with or without you. And if anything happened to any one of y'all, you now passing down a business. I can't pass down no marriage. The only thing that's different is that, well, it ain't really different. You still getting the state and the government involved.
Right. True.
Same shit.
So now you said something earlier. You said you rather be a jack of all trades
and a master of none.
Okay, talk about it. So let's talk about that jack of all trades. So man, you was out here, man, massaging the ladies down, man. I mean, you was out here getting it, man. Some
I'm
hands,
still getting
man.
it.
I said I wish my girl would say she want to go see Jeelani. I got the Vaseline. What you want? The shea butter? I got the cocoa butter. What you need, baby? I got you. But no, let's get into that, man. So what made you get into that?
I went to school actually out in Vancouver at Everest College for massage therapy. I knew that I was just good with my hands, and me doing energy work, knowing that it's still a lot of energy work, is that again, I want to give something to people that's going to be beneficial and therapeutic for them as well, and in turns that's therapeutic for me, right? So I went to school for it, and then the school ended up closing down, went into a lawsuit and everything else. So I kind of fell off of that, and then went and sold my table and all kind of extra shit. This is before Instagram, right? So now it takes for my wife to show me these brothers that's on Instagram. Now they got doing this all extra. I'm like, they didn't teach that move in school. Like, what the fuck they got going on? You like that?
Right.
And then she had a table there the next Friday, bro. That shit came like for first class. I pressed the express delivery. I think it might be $85 for the shipping. That shit came fast.
You weren't playing.
Next day, the whole table. Right. So yeah. So she showed me that, and I'm like, the only difference really is that they putting R&B music behind it. So get an editing program and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised. Like, even though a lot of my clients, they still get a clinical massage. Some of them requested that the extra one, you know what I mean, or I call it the fun one or whatever.
Right.
But what I learned is that a lot of our women too, they need to have a safe space and something just for them. So I decided to be a brother that's just going to work on black women, and then they can be proud of that. And I know a lot of our women is lacking intimacy. So I know a lot of older women who, like, they've been with their guy they could be elders, like, for real, and be like, he don't touch like that, but she still want that intimacy. So it's some place that you can come, be safe, have intimacy, get touched, get therapeutic worked on, because I do know what I know because I went to school for it. So I know about effleurage, petrissage, the Pope mint. Yeah, I know the names. Right?
See, I didn't know you went to school. I'm thinking, this nigga to watch them videos.
No, I went to school.
Killing it.
I went to school.
Okay, salute then.
Shit, I think I even stole they ass some money even though they went under and shit. You know what I mean? I paid for what I know. I just didn't have a means, and I tried to do it the right way. Right, go to school, work for a clinic. This shit didn't work out. So I'm like, wait a minute, man. She showed me this. And I'm like, I know what I I know what I know, so I paid for it. At least I needed to use what I paid for, right? So I get a table and I'm like, let me try my hand at this and see what happened. You know what I mean? And then shout out to Gabby. Gabby made a nigga go viral.
Yeah, she did. Salute to Gabby. That's my girl right there.
That shit was crazy. The town was going stupid at that particular moment.
Hey, you was probably in every group chat at that moment. You see this shit?
Right. It was going down. But you know, I just wanted to give back. And like I said, you'd be surprised. Like I get a lot of stories. I get you know, I do some parties. Some people book me 3 or 4 at a time. It'd be like, me and 4 of my homegirls coming over. And, you know, we gonna run the bag up and it'd be a cold ass little cool little party. It don't be nothing extra, you know what I mean? And going on. But, you know, I just know that they lack in intimacy, and I want somewhere they can go have intimacy, be in a safe space, get massage. Some people talk to me, tell me about their stuff that they got going on. It's still therapeutic, and, you know, send them home to their dude happy.
Man, and I gotta say salute to your wife, because most niggas women would not allow them to be in that intimate position with another woman, man.
Not only did she allow, she recorded. She be there.
Serious?
Yeah, she recorded Gabby.
Oh, yeah, well, then that's different. Then she there, so of course she knows what's going on. I thought maybe she wasn't there. Like, man, I said, boy.
Nah, she be there. She be there.
Salute to her, man.
She actually did a facial. One time I did a massage. She actually did a face, because she does scrubs, and shout out to look up Marshmallow Honey Scrubs on Instagram too. And she actually I do a massage and stuff, and she'll do a facial.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she sit there, get the scrub out, do a facial on it, and, you know, you get the whole works.
Oh, y'all ain't playing. Y'all a real team.
Me not playing, bro.
I see. I salute that too. That's dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially with your wife, man, and y'all can sit back and do things together, make money together, y'all building together. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't do nothing but salute that, man. And that is an inspiration for other couples, I'm sure, to know that, see that, you know, especially somebody who look like us, they can work together, and, you know what I'm saying, outside of just the home capacity. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
All right, man. So I want to move a little forward in the conversation. So now I've been watching your Instagram, man, doing your thing, and I've been seeing a lot of videos, man. So you got this thing called Marathon Tactical. I think it's dope. I mean, I see you as it's almost like you're training people on how to use weapons. Mm-hmm. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I see you training people how to use weapons. You showing different tactical skills. It's almost like you putting them how to use weapons, but also keeping them aware of surroundings. Like I think it's dope what I'm seeing, but I want you to kind of explain what you do so I can get a little more education about it. Mm-hmm. And also somebody else that might see this might want to tap in with you. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Marathon Tactical, we specialize in conventional and unconventional tactics to preserve human life, right? Mm-hmm. So conventional tactics to preserve human life is basically teaching you what, you know, school taught you, look both ways.
Right.
That's the first level of situational awareness. Mm-hmm. They just didn't name it that, you know, but you taught to stop at the corner, look both ways. That's just being aware of your surroundings, have situational awareness. Is cars coming? Pay attention, right? Look both ways, right? So when you take it to a further extent, when we're maneuvering day to day and you're actually out inside of Walmart or stores or the mall and stuff, we know that active shooters are now a thing. I don't remember active shooters being a thing when we grew up. Right. We just had to watch out for cars or watch out for the dog down the street or something like that, right? So we knew to watch out for certain things like possums and dogs, shit like that.
Right, that's a fact.
Other than that, just like cars, possums, and dogs. That's all I really remember. Like, you didn't get told to watch out for your friends. These kind of cats, don't watch out for these boys down the street. It wasn't even nothing like that. Like, you know, we grew up, like you said, grew up in the neighborhood.
Right.
You cool with the boys down the street.
Absolutely.
Right? If you solid.
If you solid. Right. If you solid.
We pray that out real early. But
quickly.
Marathon Tactical, man, I want to make sure that you know, only our people let our leaders die. Like, again, shout out to Malcolm X's birthday. Only our people let our leaders die, right? And I say leadership because I believe what Nip did was pure leadership in itself. He inspired the world to be 100% somewhat independent. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And if you're going to create a business, then control the business integrated vertically. You know what I mean? So control every aspect of your business. You know, so I chose to keep the Marathon name because that was something very close to me. For one, Nip came with, shout out to Karanja, Nip came to Park Rose High Middle School, and he spoke to the children there about.
I remember that.
I remember that. I don't know any artists that came and spoke to kids about financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? And coming from where he come from, and then came to do a show and still decided to go talk to the kids.
Right.
Probably didn't get no money for that. But this is like something I mean, like giving back, fulfilling your purpose. That line there, I can say that for him right now today. Karanja can say that for him. It's funny because when we got down to LA, that's the first person I seen was Karanja sitting right in front of the store. You know what I mean? So first face I can recognize. And that line, like, I know Nip would be proud of that because even in that line, I have a story in that line for him that he can be proud about because he did that out of kindness in his heart, right? So I wanted to keep the marathon thing going, and I believe that training is a marathon as well. And like he said, the marathon can apply to so much. There's not a one day that you probably shouldn't be practicing with firearms. It's not one day that you should not be educating yourself and training. You know what I mean? If you don't use it, you will lose it. So go out and keep practicing, keep dry firing, which means you don't have ammunition inside of your firearm, but you're still practicing the dynamics of moving and stuff and drawing right. Situational awareness. I created a little game. If you go out with your children and with your family, go to a store, get out the parking lot and have your kids name off 3 different things that they see these people walking in the store with. If you go in a store and you see them again, can you name off these 3 these markers? With police, I learned this in sitting in a court case, is that police use markers to identify people. Your height, your clothing, your color of your skin, your hair, so your clothing and so forth. So you get the point. Yeah, so they use these markers. So I said, well, use these same markers and use it again against the system, not really against the system, but use it to your advantage to say, if you're going inside of aisle 5, by the time we get done with aisle 5, I want to be done. I want you to tell me to at least 2 people and what they had on. You know what I mean? And that you keep doing that, you start to build up a process in your head to where now you're starting to remember these people in the store. So if something looks like a threat, you can easily now identify it instead of just being willy-nilly all on your, which we're taught, right? This is what we do.
All day.
That's what we do all day.
All day.
And you
don't even look up sometimes, you be moving.
Just be moving, right? So we have to break our children away from that because slowly they're losing their situational awareness. And that's how our youth are probably even getting shot because they probably gangbanging. Right. But they're probably doing this on the block as they doing it. So when somebody slide on them, they all inside of this instead of paying attention.
Antenna's not up.
You got to ask yourself, how are they getting hit like that?
Right.
How are they getting off the bus and getting hit? How are you not paying attention to somebody either on the bus that you was on the bus, or you not paying attention to the car rolling around like that? Right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to practice situational awareness. So with Marathon Tactical, I want to make sure that everybody's either paying attention to that. Like I had a home invasion course. I have a course that everybody can sign up for. You can dry fire. I have numerous videos that you can actually do it with me. Right. I have what the first was basic firearms training, which we learned about Oregon law, how to get your license, the do's and don'ts, what happens if you do shoot somebody, the insurance that you should be getting, because you should have, if you have a firearm, you should have insurance, because I can call somebody right now if I have to shoot somebody and I got a lawyer immediately on deck. And I think I only paid like 20 something bucks a month.
So wait a minute. They have insurance, so if you're carrying a gun, you can actually have insurance. So if something happens within that, you got insurance to cover.
Yeah, USCCA, and I have US Law Shield, which my kids is covered. My kids hit somebody with a brass knuckle, hit them with a pencil.
Hold on, don't give them too much game now. Have them come sign up. We want them to sign up now. Don't give them too much game now. I ain't know that, but don't give them too much. Now let them sign up. Y'all go sign up. You want some more of this game?
Sign up, and I make sure I leave the links and stuff for bro. You know what I mean? But absolutely. That's what we do. We want to make sure that people are prepared. Like we even have a course that I did a webinar. The next one we actually, and we don't stop there. The next one is actually credit repair. So we have a course that was a home invasion. A lot of people don't know about home invasions, and home invasions are very real. Right. You know what I mean? So we had a course that went into home invasion. I actually had somebody from Virginia who a brother who shot his home invaders, right? And these 2 people came into his house and he shot them. He says the do's and don'ts. How was it as a black man? Did they treat you? The police treat you like a responsible gun owner? They treat you like a criminal. Like what would you do differently if you did have to do it? He come to find out, man, them 2 boys was like 14 and 15 years old getting the plays from the next door neighbor. And he ended up shooting kids. Oh, wow. You know, and he told a story of what to do, what not to do. And everybody was receptive to it. So you guys got to think, like, it's home invasions, 7% of the home invasions, or 54% of home invasions, people go through the front door. 7% of those home invasions, people are assaulted with violence. I just seen a home invasion which a guy grabbed his gun, but the assailant beat him with a hammer. Wow. He couldn't even get off a shot. You know what I mean? I seen numerous home invasions to where, like, think about this. How did Pop Smoke die? Right. Naked in the shower, they got it. You crazy. Think that just because they got money, that it can't happen.
Right.
If somebody want what's in your house, it can happen. And now we're dealing with the age of the pandemic, right? Now what happened when food gets scarce? What happened when people don't have the basic things and they know that you got so much ammo or you got this, you got that, you now become an asset to them because at the end of the day, self-preservation is real and they're going to come see you about something. It's called marauders. They're going to come see you. Right. So in Marathon Tactical, we're just trying to get you prepared for that. We don't want you to be paranoid, but we want you to be better prepared for things that can come about because as threats grow every day and civil unrest grow every day, the average civilian should be prepared.
Yeah, man, that's dope, man. So if y'all want to get tapped in with my guy, man, we're going to put the links in the description so y'all can tap in with him. I think that's dope what you're doing, man. I'm seeing it. It's definitely educating the people the right way, which is good. And one thing I want to just point out since we've been talking, and I know people probably see what you're doing. Does he really know what he's doing? But the whole time we've been sitting here, not only have you been giving information, you got stats and you got facts. So lets me know you do your research and you know what you're talking about, and which is great. And so and definitely keep pushing that line. Like I said, I like what you're doing, man. Everybody that come on this show, I tell you, I'm proud of them because I see what you're doing, man, and it's good. We need this in the community. We need you in the community, and I respect everything you're doing, man. But if anybody wants to get with you, man, how can they reach out with you? You got any links or any website you want to promote, social media?
Yeah, you want to get with me, man? You can find me at www.marathontacticalllc.com. Get registered. It doesn't take nothing to sign up for that site. You'll get first dibs. Now, what I do is I have an academy as well. For $20 a month, you're going to get the basic firearms webinar. You get to watch that. You get to watch the home invasion webinar as well with the guy speaking and talking about his situation. Coming up in June, we have a credit detox class, which is going to be there as well. So either you can pay the $30 for $30 or $40, depending on what the price point is going to be for that particular class, or you can pay $20 a month and you can watch all these things at your own leisure for free. I mean, for $20 a month. So subscribe to that. So you can join marathontacticalllc.com, go to the academy, get registered. You choose to get into whatever program that you choose to get into. You can go from there, or you can follow me on Instagram at marathon_tactical. And you can find me on there. It's going to be a numerous amount of videos. I usually put up a lot of, content that is relatable. I have some stuff that's going to be dropping tonight as well. And one of them that I think I am showing is going to be a range bag and what I keep inside of my range bag. What kind of firearms I take to the range. What do I keep inside of my bag? A bug out bag, a 72. I got Mo's bug out bag, a 72-hour bag, just in case, something happens on the freeway or you stuck and stranded. You should have necessary tools inside of your bag to preserve your life, from water to food, to dry food, to flashlights, to radios, to everything. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that our people are prepared, because with civil unrest, you got to think, we were just in a fire crisis. This shit is real, people.
That's a fact.
We were surrounded.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And y'all can keep playing and thinking like it ain't gonna happen, like we wasn't just in a fire watch and surrounded by fire, like we couldn't get out through the freeways.
That's a fact.
So what happens first is that the freeways get congested and then your car run out of gas. So now you have nothing on you. If your house catch fire, you can grab this bag and go. You can't, you got your children bag should have pictures in it in case they get separated from you. You want to keep that just like jail mentality. This is giving me hope. I'm going to see my family again. Right? Or you should have all that stuff inside your bag in case you got to get out from your house. Now, if you're on a freeway and your car if it get congested and your car, stop or whatever, you got to be able to grab this bag and go to wherever your next destination is. But you need food. You can go 3 days without water. You can go a number of weeks without food.
Right.
3 days, you're done.
Yeah.
So you need to have water inside your bag. So our people need to be prepared, because at the end of the day, we wasn't prepared for I told people, get them N95 masks, get them fast. And here comes COVID.
Yeah.
We set that inside these fires. When the fires was going on the first time and the sky was red, boom, that was the first time. Get these masks. I've been told y'all, get these masks. Now, we were surrounded by fires and fires and COVID. You know what I mean? So let's stop acting like we're not paying attention to our surroundings. Again, situational awareness also comes with knowing your environment and the environmental state that we're in. You know what I mean?
Crazy, man. But you giving the game, man, like you say, $20 a month, which is pretty cheap. Get it before the price go up.
Listen,
I'm gonna tell y'all now. This man got game for us right now.
Y'all done eat that. Y'all gonna go to the dispensary more than that. You gonna go to a liquor store. A bottle of Bel Air is $30.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Y'all keep playing with like these things that's not an asset, and not like you're not gonna be caught in this thing in this situation that's not even an if. It's about a win.
Right.
It's gonna happen because we're gonna have more. We just had another fire watch.
It's crazy,
right?
Man. Yeah,
so just get prepared. Get with me, and I promise you, we'll get you prepared. I got one-on-one constellations. I get felons out of felonies. I work on your felony case for you. You know, do a constellation and everything.
Talk outside the camera.
Got you.
But no, that's dope, man. I think you're doing great work, man. I want to see you keep doing it. We're going to have you back on the podcast, man. We got a lot more to talk about, man. But again, man, if y'all want to see what this guy got going on, I'm having the links in the description. Make sure y'all tap in with him on the social media websites, man. Follow the man. He gives a lot of good game, man. And I think that it's definitely information and some news that we all can use, right? So, man, definitely, man. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely.
If you're watching this, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy DJ Pryce Miyagi. This is the Can We Talk podcast. We're going to keep this thing moving. Salute to everyone. Be safe out there. It's all love. Let's go.